Why don't you know?
I don't know how to do it. I forget.
Well, you should watch your video again then.
I was actually very sick for one full year of school in grade 7, and I missed almost the entire year. But during that time I was tutored, and I learned so much during, you know, those I can't even remember how many times a week I had the tutor come to help me at home, but I learned so much during that brief time that I really felt that it was a lot like homeschooling. It's like you could accomplish a lot in a very short period of time, and I think that that was a really positive experience for me, whereas it could have been a negative one if I you know, was struggling more. But I think that just sort of gave me the confidence to sort of give it a try and see. And because my kids were young at the time too, you know, teaching junior kindergarten isn't as intimidating as grade 9 or something like that. My oldest son was a very, very early reader. He was reading at 2, early 3, and I just sort of thought, you know, he's doing so well, and I wondered how he would fit in junior kindergarten with those skills already sort of under his belt. So I thought, oh, you know, he's enjoying things at home, and maybe we'll just keep him home for junior kindergarten or maybe kindergarten and see how things go. But from there it just grew, and I saw the opportunities, and I really enjoyed being with him and my other children, and I thought, oh, this is just too good, I can't stop. And so it's just sort of grown from there, and just the sense of community that we started to feel with the other homeschoolers in the area, I think that added to it as well. So for us, just the balance sort of tipped us a little bit more in favor of staying home and having them educated at home. When they're really little, you're starting by teaching them, you know, how to form their words, and it just sort of grows naturally, at least for me, from that point on. You know, they start baking alongside you or whatever, it's like, and they're starting to learn, then you start getting into fractions and things from sort of that angle. And, you know, story time reading at bedtime when they're really little, and then before you know it, they want to know too. And it's like, so it's almost really a natural process, at least for my family, that's what I found. With my different kids, they learn differently, so I've tapped into different resources, or I've, you know, one curriculum that's worked really well with one might not work so well with another, so I'll switch it up and change it. One of my kids really is an auditory learner and really learned so much through music because she's passionate about music. And so we did a lot of CDs on you know, multiplication facts and grammar facts and, you know, history and geography. It's amazing what you can find on CD that you can learn while you're, you know, driving from point A to point B in the van. And she really picked up a lot that way. So I tailored things more for her that way, whereas others of mine have preferred more of workbooks or games. Some of them, especially when they're younger, they often like to play math games instead of doing worksheets. So it just gives me that flexibility to sort of tailor things to what they need. And it also gives me the flexibility to sort of spend a little additional time if they're not getting a concept. Sometimes I can breeze through things that I think, oh, this is going to take a while. Other times I sort of go, whoa, 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 slow down, you know, fractions are a problem. We're going to, you know, try 1,000 different ways to teach fractions. So we'll try games, we'll try cutting pies in half and quarters and things like that, to sort of, until we sort of find something that works for that particular child. So for some kids, some of my kids, it's been really fast with some of the concepts, and then something will sort of snag them, and we're able to take the time, which I think really helps. I think it really helps, and I'm not worried about their self-esteem then either, because, you know, they're not comparing themselves so much to one another. They're all on the sort of their own individual track, so it's not an issue that way either. I try to utilize the older ones to help with the younger ones, not at the expense of their own education, obviously, but I try to utilize their skills and interests to help with the younger ones. I also, as the kids have gotten older, I've tried to get them to learn more independently. So, for example, my second oldest, Kaylee, she's doing some online courses. So she gets on the computer herself, and she's, you know, reading the assignments herself and emailing them into her teacher herself. So she's pretty independent. Sometimes too, I've chosen curriculum, particularly with how stretched I am in mind. So one of my math curriculum choices is one that comes with a DVD, which is really super for me. So the kids put in the DVD in the player, they watch their little math lesson, and then they turn it off. And if they need to review it, they can go back and do that too. So that's allowed them to sort of progress on their own. So I can be focused with somebody else on a different task while they're working ahead at their own pace, and they don't necessarily need me right there beside them, but I'm always around if they run into something. But usually they sort of slowly become more and more independent, so it's nice. And they work with each other too, so that helps as well. So if somebody needs to know how to spell something, it's not just me that can answer it. Any of their siblings that are a little bit older, or sometimes even a younger sibling, can help them with spelling something if that's a strength of theirs. We're totally into robotics, and that's been a really, really super motivator for them, and it's inspired them to learn other skills that they might not have normally been exposed to by this point in their life. But they've learned, or they have a need to learn trigonometry. So even though they might not have learned that if they were in school, they have a desire and a passion. So they've sort of taken that on themselves. Other activities, we love field trips. Always up for a good field trip. We'll go almost anywhere to learn something. It's really nice for the kids too to be exposed to some of the resources in the community, some of the fascinating people that we have right here in Kingston that can share what they're learning and what they're doing with the kids, so that they get exposed to a really nice wide variety of potential careers, or just sort of experiences or different points of views. So I really like that too, and I think the kids do as well. We've done unicycling as a group. That was kind of fun. We had a homeschool dad teach a number of the students how to unicycle, which was a really fun and popular thing, and really good for building up that core strength in the kids, and teaching them about determination and that sort of stuff. But there's almost always something. There's almost never a day of the week where we're not out doing something, or meeting other kids and getting together with families for hikes or cross-country skiing or snowshoeing or whatever. We're up for it, so it's a lot of fun. I'm not sure the homeschooling is suited for everyone, just as I'm not sure the school system is well suited for every child too. So I think it's sort of more taking stock of your own sort of personal circumstances, and seeing, if you feel that you can dedicate the time to it, and it often means the sacrifice of an income for a family, because somebody has to stay home with the kids. So there are lots of things to consider, I think, as far as making that decision. But at the same time, I think for me personally, at least, the benefits are pretty incredible if you can make it happen. And it's been a really positive thing for us, and it's helped us, I think, grow together as a family, and just experience things together, and really have the opportunity to hang out, get to know each other, love each other. And they grow up so quickly. Time is something we'll never get back, and to be able to have to be able to share in all those special moments with them is just, I don't know. I wouldn't give that up for anything. I'm glad to have been there for their first steps and their first, math equation and everything else in between. I think those are just precious, precious moments, and I really, really am grateful that I've had the opportunity to share in them with my kids.